everyone. My name is Sophia Ritchie, and I am a wellness advisor here at the University of Kentucky at the Engineering Wellness Center. Today, I'm just going to be hosting a pre-recorded workshop, a little informational session, if you will, to talk about um, managing anxiety about the future, specifically relating to internships, jobs, and career pressure as an engineering student. If you're watching this, there's a very good chance that at some point you've thought things like, I'm behind. Everyone else has internships except me. What if I don't get a job? Or what if I choose the wrong path? And if that's you, you are very, very normal. In this workshop, we're going to be talking about why future-related anxiety happens, how anxiety actually works, a few practical tools to help manage it, as well as how taking care of yourself holistically actually improves your career success. So, by the end of this workshop, my goal is that you understand why you feel anxious about the future. Learn a few tools to calm anxiety when it spikes. Learn how to take small steps instead of getting stuck, as well as leave with a simple plan instead of just more stress. So, a lot of people wonder why engineering students experience this stress, and this pressure. And engineering students often experience a very specific type of anxiety because of the structure of the field. Now, not all of these things will be applicable to you, and every case is unique. Every person is different, but there's often pressure to get internships early, to build a resume quickly, to maintain a high GPA, to attend career fairs and network and decide on a specialty and a path, to have a job lined up before graduation. And because you're surrounded by other high achieving students, it can kind of feel like everyone else is ahead of you. I want you to take a moment to pause and think about the following questions as I read them. What stresses you out most about the future right now? Now, maybe for you, it could be internships, securing that spot that you want at the company you want to work at in the future. Maybe it's money, wanting to have greater financial stability, having financial goals. Maybe it's not knowing what you want to do. Or maybe it's just not feeling good enough. Just take a few more seconds to think about that. Now, after coming back now, you might be wondering, what is anxiety? Well, anxiety is future-focused worry. It is your brain trying to predict and prepare for what might go wrong. So, anxiety is not the enemy. Anxiety becomes a problem when it becomes constant, overwhelming, or stops you from taking action. Some common anxiety symptoms include racing thoughts, overthinking, trouble sleeping, and that could be falling asleep or staying asleep, muscle tension, procrastination, avoidance, and constantly comparing yourself to others. Now, there is a cycle that keeps anxiety going, and it starts with a trigger. Something triggers that anxiety, triggers that worry. You then start to experience potentially physical anxiety. Again, the sleep, the muscle tension. Maybe you're getting headaches. That could lead to avoidance, trying to avoid the thing, the trigger that is provoking the anxiety. By avoiding that thing, you get temporary relief. However, again, that relief is temporary. It's a short burst of relief, and that anxiety will come back even stronger later. So, in real life, what this might look like, this cycle, maybe you think about the internships. You feel anxious. You avoid working on your resume. You feel better for a little while, but then you see that deadline is getting closer, and that anxiety gets worse. Avoidance makes anxiety stronger. Action is what makes anxiety smaller. So, that is one of the most important things to remember from this workshop. When anxiety spikes, you need something that works quickly. That is something you can do anywhere at any time to help you manage these feelings. And so this is something that I utilize a lot called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. And when we think about it, we have five senses, right? We see, we feel, we hear, we smell, and we breathe. You smell. Okay. In this technique, you walk through each of the five senses that I know I just messed up. By using the five senses, walk through five things you can see, four things you feel, three things you hear, two things you smell, one thing you breathe. I guess we replace taste there because maybe you're not chewing gum all the time. So breathing is another option. So this is something you can do anywhere at any time that maybe other people won't notice. It won't be disruptive. It's something you can do in your own head to help you calm down. So I want to try a short version together right now. And wherever you are watching this, I just want you to look around and name three things you can see. Three things that you see. I see yellow paint on the walls. I see a blue sky outside. I see dark navy curtains. What are two things that you can feel? I feel my shirt and the texture of it, and I feel my feet on the floor. And then take one slow, deep breath through your nose and out gently through your mouth. And this works because anxiety is in the future, and grounding like this can bring you back to the present. Now, some people may ask, well, what if I can't smell anything right now? You can just replace it with a different sense, but walking through, paying attention as much as you can to each sense, the 5-4-3-2-1 can be very helpful. Now, a lot of anxiety is not just the situation, it's the thoughts we have about the situation. So, some common anxious thoughts that you might notice. If I don't get an internship, I'm a failure. If I don't have a job by graduation, I'm behind. Everyone else is doing better than me, and I'm running out of time. When you notice a thought like this, ask yourself the following questions. Is this realistic? Is this helpful? And what would I say to a friend in this situation? Most of the times we talk to ourselves in a way we would never, ever, ever talk to someone we care about. So taking a pause in these moments to, ask these questions and even reframing, instead of saying, if I don't get an internship, I'm a failure. Reminding yourself there are multiple paths to success. Reframing those thoughts into something a little gentler with yourself, a little more realistic. Something you would tell a friend can be very beneficial. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting until they feel less anxious to start, but action is usually what reduces anxiety. So think of anxiety like a huge mountain. If you try to climb the whole mountain at once, you'll avoid it. But if you take one small step, it suddenly becomes manageable. So pause and think. What is one small step, maybe related to your career or internship, that you could take this week? So maybe for you, that one small step could be updating a resume. Maybe it's just to apply to one internship instead of five. Maybe it's emailing one professor. Maybe it's going to office hours. Maybe it's just making a LinkedIn profile. Maybe it's talking to someone in your field. Just one step. Now, this part is extremely important, especially for engineering students. Your anxiety is not just about your future, but your anxiety is also heavily influenced by things like sleep, nutrition, exercise, social interaction, screen time, breaks, hobbies, and mental health. If you are sleeping only 4 or 5 hours, if you're eating poorly, if you're never exercising, never taking breaks, if you're isolating yourself or constantly on your phone or computer, your anxiety will be much higher, even if nothing is wrong with your career path. You cannot separate mental health from physical health and expect to feel okay. So, setting goals in these areas, which we would love to help you with at the Engineering Wellness Center, could be a great first step in taking action. So, right now, given what we've talked about, I want you to make a simple 4-part plan. You can write this down or you could just think about it. But I want you to choose one thing for your career, one thing for your mental health, one thing for your physical health, and one thing for your social life. 4 small, achievable steps that you could take this week in each of these areas, one for each. So, again, maybe for your career, it's just updating your resume. For your mental health, it could be doing self-care, listening to music. For your physical health, it could be taking a 10-minute walk during a study break. For your social life, it could be reconnecting with a friend over lunch or just calling someone important to you. When life feels uncertain, this structure reduces anxiety. I want to end with a few important reminders. You do not have to have your entire life figured out right now. Most people's careers are not linear. It's not what we see in the movies. And you're not behind. Your progress is more important than your perfection. Having a growth mindset is so important. And done is better than perfect. It can be really easy to mull over actions and decisions. Your worth is not determined by how fast you get an internship or a job. But thank you for taking the time to watch this workshop. If you're struggling with anxiety, stress, or feeling overwhelmed, you are not alone. It can really help to talk to someone, whether that's a friend, a professor, a mentor, a counselor, someone you trust. Again, we're always available at the Engineering Wellness Center to offer you some support with this. And remember, small steps reduce anxiety, avoidance increases anxiety. Taking care of yourself is not a waste of time. It's actually a performance strategy. But I hope this was helpful, and I wish you all the best of luck in all of your endeavors, and I really encourage you to continue prioritizing your mental health. Thank you.